So my name is Stacy.
I'm Stephanie.
This is Stephanie. And we're here to talk to you today about teen dating violence. So if your teen is starting a dating relationship and you've noticed some changes, such as it could be maybe depression, or they're spending all their time with their partner, or they've stopped hanging out with their friends, and maybe their partner has taken over their phone or like monitors their messages and all that kind of stuff. Those are some red flags to look for, to maybe have a conversation with your teen about, hey, I've noticed that you stopped hanging out with your friends lately, what's going on, kind of like that conversation going with them.
Also, in teen dating relationships, words are really powerful, especially with social media. So if you have a teen who's very upset about arguments or fights that they're having with a boyfriend or girlfriend, or even a friend, just something to start a conversation about of what is being said to them and why is it being said, and is this a relationship you want to continue in? Sometimes you can talk about arguments if you call the person a name. We're human beings, things like that happen. But just have that conversation with your teen that relationships do have arguments, but they're not meant to be this, we fight for each other all of the time, or we fight with each other all of the time. So again, it's easy to, as a teenager, think that you know all of this information. So sometimes you don't want to talk to your parents. Also, as parents, you want what's best for your child. So sometimes we may say things like, you'll find so many other relationships in your life. You're so young. And while that's absolutely true, they will find more friends, different relationships. It's important to think about what they're right then and there with that relationship that they're going through. So they really like this person. Sometimes in adolescence, we have all or nothing thinking that if we're not with this person, it's the end of the world. So it's important to just sit and be a very active listener. Let them express their feelings to you. Why do they feel this way? What's been happening? And if you just listen in that moment, you can tell them that you know the resources, that you do have advice if they're ready, and just let them know that at any point in time they can come and talk to you for advice without having to feel like you'll just give them this, they're so young, and that they have the whole rest of their lives ahead of them.
Yeah, kind of let them lead the conversation, maybe start it, but then let them lead it if they're willing to talk to you. But more likely they might feel more comfortable going to a friend, or they might not feel comfortable going to anybody, and it might be something that they're going to keep to themselves. So it's just learning those cues that maybe things are getting out of hand or getting into the danger zone that you need to look out for to really start the conversation with them. So hopefully get them to open up to you.
Mm-hmm. Just asking, how is the person that they're dating? How is the friend that you maybe have questions about that relationship? Just ask how things are going. Ask if they want to hang out with that person. Why haven't they hung out with that person in a while? Whatever you feel comfortable, but make it seem so that it's a way that they can answer you and give you that feedback without giving them the third degree of, I don't think this is a good friend, or, I noticed you have them hanging out with this person. Ask the question.
We also have, we have these brochures. They're called Talking to Your Teen About Dating Violence. So, and in here we have some conversation starters that you can use, like, for instance, are any of your friends dating? What are their relationships like? What would you want in a partner? So even if they're not dating right now, but maybe their friends are, it's really good to, get into that preventative measure and talk to them about healthy relationships. So there's some other good conversation starters in here. This is available to download on our website if you are interested in learning more about it.
I would say away from their friends. Don't have it open with their friends unless they're comfortable, and you'll know your child the best. But a private conversation.
Yeah, I would say definitely more private. You don't want to have this conversation out like at Starbucks or something where it's super busy. You want to make sure that they're comfortable and that they're going to want to talk to you, probably in their own comfortable setting. So maybe their room, or
definitely make it their comfortable setting, not necessarily yours. because it's a conversation that you want to bring out their information. So remember, we want them to feel the most comfortable. So drugs and alcohol in any situation are never going to be a cause for abuse. They're always going to make things escalate or make them worse. With teens, drug and alcohol use is obviously illegal. So if they are using drugs and alcohol, they are more prone to not talk about situations that happen when drugs and alcohol become involved. And as we said, they could be much worse than they've experienced in the past. A teen may not speak up about a situation involving drugs and alcohol like an adult would, only because they have a fear of getting in trouble by a parent or whoever they feel confident confiding in, because they have a fear of getting in trouble, because the last thing a teen wants to do is get grounded, get yelled at, things like that. So it's important to just have, every conversation with your teen. What are your expectations regarding when they go out with their friends? Can they talk to you about anything? What does anything mean in your relationship with your child? So it only looks different because the conversation about drugs and alcohol is different when it comes to teens versus adults. Super important to allow them, keeping them information on how to advocate for themselves, how to stand up for themselves. What is a healthy boundary? What does it look like potentially if somebody's not respecting their boundaries? How can they stand up for themselves without being perceived as mean? There's a bunch of different communication that if you were to just Google them, or you can call our COPE line, which is listed up here, we can talk to you about healthy communication. Just because they're staying in the relationship doesn't mean they don't need information on how to still be the best advocate for themselves. And it's also really important as a parent to just still be that person that they can come and talk to with whatever situation. They've made a decision that you as a parent might not agree with, and it might really kind of suck for you if you are scared of whatever is going to happen, but still be that person they can come to no matter what, and provide that active listening with an open mind. They're going to come to you, and if they're coming to you, they want some sort of help, so always be there to provide it.